Google Chromes. It's better than that old Internet Explorer.
Not even Firefoxes.
No, I don't use the Firefoxes. That's too dangerous. I don't want them running around catching my cousins. They can bite their ankles. So I get the Google Chromes, the Chrome pipes on my truck.
Okay, welcome everybody to the Squares of the Round Table podcast. Okay, yours truly, Jive Ivan over here with Mike.
Howdy.
And with Jeff. How we all doing today? Yes, it's that time once again where we give you news that you can or cannot use, but not necessarily.
No, that's the other show.
Or whatever.
That's the other show.
Okay,
that's later.
Another show we do.
All right. Well, you know,
not now.
It's Monday. It's Monday. We're doing this thing, and I guess my mind just kind of wandered off. It just wandered off. Okay. Anyway, see, that's what happens when you have dementia. Anyway,
You have dementia?
No, I don't have dementia. Of course not.
I was
making a joke. No, that would be. I'm demented. Yeah, don't got dementia, but I am demented. You know, and you can't have me hanging around with fools because I'll just want to be one.
Well, if you were hanging around with fools, I figured that you probably took up that snow shoveling job up in Green Bay. $12 an hour right before the game. You could shovel snow in Green Bay for $12 an hour at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh boy!
I'll do it for free, Aaron Rodgers.
Well, you know,
I just want to be on the field where Aaron Rodgers is.
Yeah, well, I don't have to worry about the snow, man. They got other people out here do that here. I don't have to go outside and do nothing.
Yeah, I was just saying, in this city, we pay people for that. We don't like make the fans come out and do that. We have like people.
It's the team of the people, man.
It's the team of the people.
Pass the cheese curds.
Yeah, man.
Really.
You know, I do not like cheese curds.
Really?
No.
You don't like cheese curds?
In fairness, they're not bad.
Yeah.
I like them.
I like cheese.
I like cheese. I like all kinds of cheese.
I don't like cheese heads.
Really? Cheese curds is no different than, like, mozzarella sticks. Same idea.
No, well, I mean, mozzarella sticks and cheese curds, the only difference is that one's breaded and one's not quite so breaded. You know, it's like...
Wait, what?
I knew you always going to catch me on that. I said one is breaded and one is not quite so breaded.
Just deep fried.
It's all the same shit.
Anyway, so this week...
How is it not all the same shit?
So neither of us watched the games. I'll watch the playoff games on Sunday. I'm not in a bad...
I watched the other games. I just didn't watch the Packer game.
That's because Jeff hates the Packers. He will not watch
something to do. I actually had something to do. I actually had a...
Oh, yeah. Well, you know you hate the Packers.
Well,
you've had a long-running hatred of the Packers. So as far as I've known you, Jeff, you've always had a long-running hatred with the Packers.
Well, it's the fact that he has something better to do.
Well, that's
How was that better to do something?
I had something better to do.
That's good.
I had a Toastmaster meeting. I decided to go to that.
Yeah,
well, that's good. I'm glad you did something constructive instead of hating on the Packers.
Well, I mean, what is possibly constructive about watching the Green Bay Packers?
Well, nothing. Nothing is good
there you go.
Watching the Green Bay Packers. I'd rather watch paint dry than watch the Green Bay Packers. I'd rather...
I don't know about that. You know,
I sit on a razor blade naked before I watch the Packers or suck my nose in before my head caves in, you know, before I watch the Packers.
Okay, you've now announced two things I would rather watch the Green Bay Packers than do. At least two. At least two. There are a few other things.
I would rather sit in front of my window looking at my neighbor while sitting here nothing but a shirt than watch the Green Bay Packers.
That's a toss-up. Depends on what my neighbor looks like.
Yeah.
There are no beauties out here. I'll tell you that.
Well, I'm gonna go with
except for you, Ivan. You're a beauty. You're a gem of a person.
He's dead sexy.
I'm a real jewel. I know that's right, man.
I just don't understand how. I mean, it's not. Look, let's be honest. You know, you'd win too if every woman was bigger than the offensive line in your town. I mean, you know how many Packer jokes there are in the world. Through.
I know. Well, see, you know, that's why they sell them in the tourist attractions when you go across the Wisconsin line and everything. Everything you need to know about the Packers.
Do they understand? The reason why we let them win is because we know they have nothing better to do.
Well,
otherwise they're drunk with their firearms shooting each other to death.
That or
in
they're
the
just
forest.
That or they're visiting the 150 bars on every block, you know.
Yeah, seriously.
Just go ahead and celebrate the fact that being drunk and stupid is actually their national pastime. You know, it's like, okay.
When you say that, you're not kidding. There was a I don't remember if it was a poll or a survey or some sort of scientific thing. And the top 20 drunkest cities in America
is Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Well, no.
Green Bay, Wisconsin.
No. Let's not even talk Green Bay, Wisconsin. Of the top 20, only 3 were outside of the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Like only 3.
Yeah. Why is it that? Why am I not the least bit surprised? They even write songs about it.
I know. It's like between the cheese and the polka and the Green Bay Packers and the.
Why the fuck do you want to hang around in Wisconsin? I know one good thing that's good in Wisconsin, and probably the only redeeming thing in Wisconsin is DairyCon.
Last year when I saw Weird Al, it was 2 years ago when we saw Weird Al.
You guys saw Weird Al.
Beer barrel. I did the beer. He did the beer barrel polka.
There are, in fairness, there's still some good things over in Wisconsin.
Maybe I'm being crude. I guess taking into effect that I like going to Wisconsin Dells in the off season and buy up all of their second hand.
What are you doing in the off season at Wisconsin Dells?
Oh my gosh! Are you kidding?
Indoor water parks?
Are they all indoor now?
Huh? No.
Are they all indoor now?
No.
Not all of them.
No, the reason why I go in the off season is 1, I avoid the crowds. 2, the secondhand stores and the antique shops are ripe for the picking of all manner of things I want to collect.
Did you get your microphone yet?
Yes, I have it. Oh. You saw? I think I posted a picture of it, but I got to post a better picture
you with
of
the
it.
new one? Okay.
On Instagram, yeah, that's I'll put a better picture up. Yeah,
I wouldn't mind going to the Dells again. The Kalahari was fun.
Well, I like the Kalahari.
It's expensive, but it was fun.
Yeah. I mean,
Wisconsin Dells is almost as expensive as like going to Disney World at this point.
No, come on, that's an exaggeration.
Okay, fine.
Well, no. I have to give credence to Jeff's statement because having gone there as of recent, and even in the off season, you know, you got the people in the Wisconsin Dells, and I'm telling you, okay, besides everything growing by leaps and bounds and making the water park central of the world, of the United States, and on top of that, they got. I mean, every hotel, motel, or whatever is attached to some kind of water park or some kind of amusement park or something. It's obscene how it has changed in the last 20 years. It's crazy. And my daughter Soraya went up there just last year with her family, and and they all went to the Kalahari, and she was telling me, man, everything there, Dad, was real expensive. Well, you know, that's how they make their money is through the tourist. You know, they make their money. You know, I mean, if you don't do Paul Bunyan's, which I love going to Paul Bunyan's. Have you guys ever been to Paul Bunyan's in the Wisconsin Dells?
Boy, you know, I hate to tell you the last time I went to the Wisconsin Dells, I might have been a teenager. I haven't been in like probably 30 years.
Okay, well, all right. Then I guess no. Then this conversation wouldn't happen.
Well, no, it's fine. I'm just laughing because
explain to us what Paul Bunions is about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, Paul Bunjun.
Paul Bunjons.
Bunjons.
He plays left tackle.
Say that 10 times quick.
Yeah, he was a right defensive end.
Paul Bunyan's, okay, they make their donuts right on site. They got the best sugar donuts, fresh, hot sugar donuts. Not to mention their buffet tables, which, of course, they have all manner of breakfast and ephemera and things that you would want to eat, And then, of course, they got the trading post. They got the big wooden bear that you can take pictures with, and crazy stuff like that. Then, Ripley's Believe It or Nuts is still there in the main drag. They do have a number of things that are still open year round, but with the exception of the water parks. But once you get the water parks happening when they open up the season in May, then it's a shit show. It becomes I would imagine. It becomes the equivalent of Las Vegas.
Yeah, just super busy.
At night. It's crazy. And then that's when the prices skyrocket everywhere you go. I mean, but then that's just, again, that's their commerce. That's how they make their money. But for, a guy like me, I go in the off season, I go to the secondhand shops and I check out all the toys I want to check out. I check out all the records I want to check out, all the electric gear I want to check out, or certain clothes. Like I got the jacket that the blue jean jacket I'm wearing currently actually came from Wisconsin Dells on an off day, and it cost me $15, and it fit me.
Yeah, that's because it came from a 300-pound woman.
Exactly. But the beauty of it was when I went up to the. No. When I went up to the counter with it, and she goes, "Oh yeah, that was a one owner jacket too." And like, oh wow, it's almost new. She goes, "Yeah," said she only wore it like maybe a couple of times, and then she just didn't care for it anymore. So I'm like, shit, more for me.
You're wearing a woman's jacket?
Yeah, wait, I was really kind of joking. So wait,
no. It's a blue jean jacket. It's one of those, but she said that's where it originated from. Who knows? Maybe she wore it. Maybe her husband wore it. I don't know.
No. I'm with Mike on this one. She owned it.
Okay, well that's what she said. Yeah,
I understand.
Okay.
There are definite styles between a man's jacket and a woman's jacket. I was joking about that it could have come from a 300-pound woman. I'm beginning to think that's not a joke anymore.
Then I just confirmed what you believe.
I know. I do feel bad making those jokes, but I mean,
but don't make it feel. Why are you feeling bad?
Well, because I didn't size these jokes. I just at the same time I always just kind of laugh because Wisconsin, it's just like. You make all those jokes about the fact that they don't
It's easy to do, though, because they don't care. To make fun of people in Wisconsin and the things they do in Wisconsin, it's easy to do because they don't care.
Not only that, they lack indoor plumbing.
See what I mean? But then
there are plenty of civilized regions in the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, there's only like 5 of those.
You want a lack of indoor plumbing, go to Puerto Rico.
They're in bad shape with those
earthquakes.
There's
a reason why. Look, there's a reason why the people of Green Bay own the team. No one else wants that piece of shit.
Well, shout out to James Holzhauer for booing Green Bay last week. I can't wait to watch the Jeopardy.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. Yeah, we're watching.
That was cool.
Tomorrow. That's tomorrow, and we're recording tonight. But tomorrow is the part 4 of the Jeopardy greatest of all time. But it's the same day. It's the Crisis finale, so I'll have to DVR one and watch the other.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode of Goat, which was fabulous. It was good to see some of the guys come back, and just amazing show. I mean, I'm a big Jeopardy fan. I love Jeopardy.
Yeah, I'm all on Team James, man. It's sad though that I'm watching partly because it's like I don't know how much time Alex Trebek has, and that's kind of morbid thinking about it. But
let's
that's not morbid. It's just poignant now because it's like now every show he's on, could be his last show. So you want to make sure you don't miss that moment in time.
I want to throw this a different direction though. Because I've been thinking about this for a little bit. And I asked a couple people. Nobody's got a good answer for this. Okay, who takes over for Alex Trebek?
Probably nobody.
No, there's too much money in doing a syndicated Jeopardy show. You know that.
Yeah, but the only thing is, though, usually whatever happens, especially in game shows, at least to my experience, usually, you get used to the people that do the game shows over a number of years and everything, and then once they get a new person there, it's just, okay, good example. Vanna White took over for Pat Sajak.
When he had his surgery, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I actually liked her better.
No, I like Pat.
And so my parents kept saying, yeah, she's good, but she's not Pat.
I agree.
Well, yeah, okay, you only gave her like a couple of weeks, and she hasn't had nearly the amount of time.
She's had 30 years to learn the game.
She's got 30 years to learn the game. Come on.
Well, there was a difference between letter turning and doing that.
Well, okay, but you think that you would be watching for 30 years from the wings.
Well, she didn't do a bad job.
Pat was able to swing it.
Right, I mean,
you would think that some of that would have rubbed off on her some kind of way.
No, I mean, because come on, man. You do your own. You're working on your own thing. I mean, in fairness, she's getting more work out than
getting
that
back
anyway.
to your question, I think it might be have to be one of the talk show hosts. Or maybe, Drew Carey and Wayne Brady have cut their niche in with Let's Make a Deal and Price is Right, and they do great at their jobs on that show.
That's why I was kind of like, as much as I understand where you're coming from, Ivan, I mean, Drew Carey just walked straight into Price is Right and has been...
He's been great.
People talk about being
Carey owns it. Drew Carey owns it, and I will give it to Drew Carey for owning it, okay?
Right. You need somebody who it makes sense.
But then see, also too, the element of the Price is Right and all the rest of those shows and things like that, there is still a lot of a fun element attached to those type of shows. Whereas with Jeopardy, you've got an intellectual sensibility to that show, which not everybody's going to be able to just walk into.
I'll tell you who I thought would be good, but he's too obscure. Is what's his name from the Food Network? That Alton Brown.
You're right. I have never heard.
The science, like the guy who does all the science stuff with the food. And
he's a little energetic, but I think he'd make it, give a different atmosphere to Jeopardy. It doesn't have to become extreme Jeopardy, with flashing lights or any of that shit.
But then how about Bill Nye the Science Guy?
No, he's not a talk show host. I don't think he is good at interacting. I don't know about him.
No? Okay.
Well, it's more, Jeopardy's more than just science. I mean, it's art, literature, poet, and.
So we would need to have a guy in there that was just as wide open to everything as Trebek is. And, but those are awfully big shoes to fill, though.
Oh, I didn't disagree. Like I said, I was just kind of sitting here going, because you know that this is not dead. They're just not going to Jeopardy's
going to live on.
Oh, no, right. Jeopardy's going to live on. Will it be the same after Trebek's gone? We'll never know until we see. Let's just hope that when they curate it, to get that person to do that show that they keep it.
Now, did Alex Trebek take over for Art Fleming, or was there someone in between?
Wow, I have no idea.
No, Art Fleming. He took over for Art Fleming.
Yeah.
I don't even know who Art Fleming is.
Art Fleming was the original guy on Jeopardy.
The only reason I know that is the Weird Al song.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I remember.
Okay.
This is how far back I go with Jeopardy. I remember Art Fleming because they also had They used to have another show. It was called It's Academic on Channel 7, which of course was kind of a junior version of Jeopardy.
Or you could have Jeff Foxworthy saying, "Are you smarter than a fifth grader?"
No.
I think John Cena's doing that show now.
Really?
I thought the last I heard John Cena was doing Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
That show's still on? Holy shit.
Somewhere. I can't remember where.
I used to have the board game. We played it one Christmas, I think.
Oh, you know who might be able to do it? What's his name? That guy from... I can't remember the guy's name.
How about Marc Summers?
Marc Summers.
Someone hit the buzzer.
Yeah. Not
Yeah,
me.
Marc Summers from from Nickelodeon. Marc Summers.
Yeah, wow. Oh, boy, that's been a long time.
Wow, here comes the bucket of slime. If you don't get the double Jeopardy, daily double wrong, and
now that would be something. Now that would be great.
Okay, I mean, come on. Would you not think that? Would you not think that'd be fun? Would you not think that'd be fun?
Yeah,
okay,
that's a different show.
Come on,
that's an entirely
that would be a different show, but that would be a fun show. Okay,
that would be hysterical.
Well, somebody who was, I think, I'm not saying someone who would copy Alex's style, but someone's got to be a little kind of, kind of straight-laced, but you can swing it a little in the funnies when you need it to.
How about, who's the guy who does that America Says show on the Game Show Network? He was in, see, you guys don't have cable, I forget.
I have cable, I just don't watch it.
I have the Game Show Network.
Yeah, two guys that don't watch. Now
I don't watch the Game Show Network. I like sometimes watching the old reruns, like with Wink Martindale and Richard Dawson, Chuck Woolery.
John Michael Higgins, that's the guy. That guy might be able to do it. He's done some. Trying to remember what he's been in. That's the guy from Pitch Perfect. The guy from Pitch Perfect and Fred Claus, and he's been in a few movies, but he's not bad. If you never get a chance, Ivan, that or Mike, that America Says show is halfway decent. I mean, I'll tell you right now, he's a little more straight-laced.
Well, speaking of game shows, what happened to that Press Your Luck reboot? Did it not go through, or ratings?
Oh no, it did. They're only doing it in the summer.
Oh, okay. It's just
They only did a small run.
Okay.
They only did a small run, and that's all just summer.
All right.
Yeah, that's all summer replacement.
Will it be back next summer? This summer?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
They did well with it. It did okay.
I mean, it's so over the top than from the original Press Your Luck, but still good.
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of funny. As the episodes got further in, it got better. So I was kind of bummed that it finished when it did, because I was like, honestly, it was just finding its niche. But
right.
By the way, did you guys see the thing? I guess we won't use it. We won't save it for News of the Square, but we won't use it for News of the Square now. You saw the thing about the woman who they were in sudden death in the Canada one, and they asked her about the Popeyes.
Yeah, that's gone viral. The Popeyes question. Yeah, I'd explained it to a family member today.
Where she said chicken instead of spinach.
Yeah, she buzzed in too quick and. Well, she didn't buzz in too quick.
No, she didn't buzz in too quick.
But
she just said chicken.
Yeah, exactly. Ivan obviously doesn't know what we're talking about, but it's like the two people go up to the host and they have their buzzers, and he asks the question, and who buzzes in first?
Mm-hmm.
And what is Popeye's favorite food? And she buzzes in, and she goes chicken, and she does this little dance, but she's wrong.
It's
and then
spinach.
The other guy buzzes in spinach.
Well, the other thing is it's in sudden death modes. There's only one answer.
Yeah.
So whoever gets the answer wins the game and goes to play for fast money for $20,000. Right. So she hits the buzzer first and says chicken, and she's all dancing around.
She thinks she got it. She nailed it.
She thinks she got it. Now, in fairness, Popeyes gave them a $10,000 gift certificate for their food. As a result of that, so
they're having a Popeyes chicken party, I guess.
Yeah, well,
that was good publicity for Popeyes.
Longer than that.
Yeah, good publicity.
Yeah,
imagine you can't pay for that good of publicity.
Right, seriously.
Nope.
Honestly, they could make some more money too. Popeyes could make some more money on that if they did like an ad where it was like they did the family food thing and she said chicken. And then they had her look all depressed, and somebody walked up and gave her like a chicken sandwich or something.
Yeah, she could get hired by Popeyes for commercials.
Right.
She can wear a chicken suit.
Like Big Al's Toy Barn, like an obnoxious
Or what do you think about Stroker Ace?
Do you need a little side?
Right,
Do you
yeah,
need
Burt
a little
Reynolds in
breast? Do you
Stroker
need
8.
a little leg? Come to Popeyes. Do you want a little breast? Do you want a little leg? Do you want a little thigh? Come
Okay,
to
thank
Popeyes.
you, Ivan. We appreciate it.
Why don't you just shut down? Okay.
Next time you play the chicken dance at your next DJ gig, just sing along with it.
Yeah, really.
If
we asked you to play the chicken dance at one of your gigs, you'd be like, "Oh hell no!" But on the show, let's just go do it.
Well, why not? It's fun. Our show's fun. We can do that.
Is it fun? Yeah. Okay. You know what, Mike? We need to show up at one of his gigs and go, "I want the electric slide."
The electric slide.
Well, guess what? I've done the electric slide. In fact, I did the electric slide at Mathers last week. Well, not last week. The week before
that's better, Mike. Let's go that way. Free bird.
Yeah. Shout out to Neil Peart. God rest his soul. What am I wasn't a big fan of Rush, but a friend of mine was. It was like his first concert ever at Alpine when they went and saw Rush, and that was our closing song, Ivan, for the longest time on the morning show, was a song by Neil Peart.
Right.
That started out with that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was a song by Neil Peart.
Well, here's the beauty of that situation. I mean, looking on the face labs and Instagrowth, it was like people are just like, and why is this a thing where when a person dies, especially an artist, a singer, or whatever, dies, that all of a sudden, the poo-pooing starts. I wasn't a big fan, and, anybody who listened to Rush, maybe that's their thing, but, I didn't think Peart was a big deal, and...
Obviously, listen to him, he doesn't understand music.
Wow, my feed was not like that at all.
No, it's quite the opposite. Everyone became a Rush fan.
Totally the opposite.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you're with all the music people who are all the music snobs.
Yeah, all the music snobs.
Well, but for me, I mean, I wasn't not a huge Rush fan, but I'm a respectful Rush fan. I mean, Neil Peart, let's face it, he was articulate, he was inventive, he was imaginative, and put it this way, anybody that could go ahead and play over 30 sets of drums and 20 sets of cymbals mixed in with other percussion in an island.
Yeah, his drum kit was obnoxious.
Yeah, but could he do it underwater?
Yes, right, exactly, yeah.
Well, if you, it kind of reminds me of that. Kind of reminds me of the show we did about who was that? It was a trip in Australia where you could see Kiss underwater. Was that?
Yes, we talked about that on.
Yes,
yeah. So, maybe that was something Neil Peart should have done. Maybe that might have been a thing, but I don't know. He could have done it, and it might have been interesting because, damn, you've seen the kid, haven't you?
Yeah.
He's a spaceship.
Yeah.
It's a fucking spaceship is what it is.
If you grew up, it's like there's three guys you're thinking about on drums. You're thinking about Neil Peart, the guy who I can't remember his name from Def Leppard who only has one arm.
Okay.
And Phil Collins. That's about it.
As far as famous drummers go, I think.
Famous drummers.
Well, then Lars. There's Lars.
Well, then you had Cozy Powell. You had there's a lot of.
Okay, back in the day, I'm talking about current.
Yeah.
Okay. Currently, there was Ginger Baker, and he just passed.
That's okay. Let's try this again. How about from the 80s beyond? 80s to current. Let's try this again. Oh, I'm sorry, Sheila E. I forgot. Because nothing beats watching Sheila E. in tight outfits.
That's because you're always coloring in the lines with the women. It's like, she's a drummer and she's a woman too.
I didn't say that, you did.
I know.
But no one's going around saying Sheila E. is an amazing drummer. She's a competent drummer.
Well, she was taught by Tito Puente, so he's actually quite good.
Huh.
She's actually quite good, and she still teaches. By the way.
Okay, well, good for her.
Yeah.
Although it is kind of funny because it's like now that I'm sitting there, it's like okay, quick. Even as far back as the '90s, okay, who are the next? hot drummers. I
don't think the focus was as much on the instrumentalists as, say, the bands themselves.
Anyway, rest in peace, Neil Peart.
Well, I mean, even the 90s. I mean, you had Slash. I mean,
well, he's a guitarist, obviously.
Right. I'm just saying, but at least you look at guitarists.
Dave Grohl.
Okay. Yeah, Dave Grohl. Oh wait, what's it call it? Who's the guy from? Who's the drum guy from? That band in the 90s. He was dating a Carmen Electra for a while.
I don't know.
Dude, you're not helping. I can't remember his name. Dave Grohl?
Yes, from Nirvana.
Yeah. Who later went on to become part of the Google Dolls.
Maybe Dave Grohl. Maybe Dave Grohl is who is on there. And then isn't Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy, isn't he the drummer? Yeah.
Okay.
You got I think I just stumped both of you. Do you even know what Fall Out Boy is?
Yes, I know who Fall Out Boy is.
My niece does.
Your niece
yeah,
does.
I know who Fall Out Boy is.
Mm-hmm.
Right up there with Linkin Park and all the rest of them,
That's not with Linkin Park.
Linkin Park is pre-90s.
Yeah, Linkin Park is early 2000s, man.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You really want me to go look this up? Do you really want me to, Mr. Music Guy?
Okay, so we're a half hour in, so how was everybody's weekend?
Snow.
Let's start with you, Jeff.
Snow. More snow.
We only got 2 inches here. They were calling for almost a foot.
I know, but it was
and we got 2 inches.
Mess. It was I'm not getting
There's
it.
ice on top of it.
It only goes to show you one more time, and I will say it one more time, meteorologists are the best paid liars out there.
Yeah,
They're
but with
liars,
that...
they're guessers.
Yeah.
Okay, they're the best paid guessers out there. Okay.
Well, then how come we don't do that? That'd be simple. We can make up a whole bunch of shit. Yeah, it's gonna be this.
Yeah, we can go ahead and open up the window, stick our finger out and say, yeah, it's cold, and it's wet, it rains, and I can draw on the window a funny face.
And that man is playing Galga.
That's right.
Tetris.
I've been told, I've talked to a couple of my coworkers who are doing computer sciences and stuff, and they told me that the algorithm exists that will predict the weather, but there's no computer on the Earth strong enough to run it.
Well,
they know all the atmospheric data and all the variables for tracking the weather. It exists, but we just can't run it. We don't know how to implement it.
We don't have all the gigawatts of power to run the flux capacitor.
We don't have a computer with the computing power necessary to run the algorithm that will predict
Someone
the weather.
Someone should call Elon Musk. That's his job, isn't it? Figure that shit out.
No, his job is to smoke pot and make a car that looks like a 5-year-old drew it and get us to Mars.
And build an underground subway. Build an underground,
Yeah, what's he building? A tunnel, from L.A. to Vegas or something? What's he doing?
I don't know. Isn't he doing one in Chicago, too?
I don't know.
I think so. I don't know.
He's doing a tunnel like they have in the English Channel.
Yeah.
Why?
Because commuters...
It's because it's there. Okay, I get it.
Well, because he can. That part that'll...
just because you can doesn't mean you should.
That's right. Thank you, Jeff Goldblum.
Because we need another road that people can tax.
Right.
Those of you people in Las Vegas who have lost everything in the polls, you can ride the free train home.
Not anymore.
So how was your weekend, Ivan?
Well, let me see. Besides running an emotional up and down, as far as the snow didn't bother us up here that much. I mean, they were talking about a foot of snow. We ended up with more slushy, maybe 2 inches worth of snow.
Yeah, that's what we got.
And,
killer wind. We had 50 mile an hour.
Yeah, we had nasty. Yeah, nothing got damaged around here from
that
the
was
winds.
the problem. Problem was,
well, you know, living
like
here in
a
the
blizzard.
apartment, all I get is the whistling sounds when the wind goes past the windows and things, but like something out of a horror movie. But aside from that, no major digs, no trash cans were harmed in the winds being blown up in Chicagoland. And it was just kind of one of those easygoing things. I made a couple of mixtapes. I wrote down in my little cards, did some analoging, and played some new records that I got, from eBay. And it was kind of cool. In fact, also the other day, Thursday, I was with John and Allison. We had visited another record store, and you probably saw my recent picture of the Miles Davis album that I had purchased. It was a new purchase, which ended up sharing that on Thursday night. That was really cool. It's a good Miles Davis album. It's called.
Is there a bad Miles Davis album?
Actually, you got Miles Davis. You either got where he's really in the pocket, or he's just way out in the world. I mean, there really is no middle ground with Miles Davis. So it's kind of like when you start listening to, say, like John Coltrane. Like John Coltrane has a way of playing where you're just kind of like, wow, how many more dissonant notes are there in the scale? You're just like, wow, where do these things come from? It's quite the musical pictography. But as far as the rest of it, this Miles Davis one, in fact, I got it right here. And I mean, it's all these heavy hitters, on the album. For those of you jazz lovers out there, the album's called Blue Moods. It was put out by a company that was owned by Charlie Mingus, who also played bass on the session, with Teddy Charles on the vibes, Elvin Jones on the drums. Of course, he's done hundreds of records. Britt Woodman was on the trombone, and then Miles was planted front and center.
What year was this from?
It's from 1955. Huh? So this is very early Miles.
I was going to say, wow, that's pretty early for Miles Davis.
Yeah, so it's a very early Miles, and the beauty of the debut label, which they only released a handful of albums, was because Charlie Mingus was pissed off at labels like Blue Note and everything, because they're always like, yeah, we want you to be creative, but hurry up. We only got so many hours in a session. Yeah, that's your idea of good, but that's not our idea of good. And they just got fed up and like, okay, well, we're gonna rent our own studio, and we're gonna put out our own records. And all the debut albums, both the 10-inch and the 12-inch albums, they're milestones. They're all great because they don't have the constraints. They don't have the pressures of, they got to make a hit album. They can just make an album that they really want to make, a good album. And the titles on this are very familiar as well. I mean, Nature Boy, which was a big hit for Nat King Cole, Alone Together, Okay, There's No You, and then Easy Living, which was a big hit for Billie Holiday, which is all of the songs. There's 4 songs, but they're just these beautiful, lengthy, groovy tracks. They're just so good. So if you go to YouTube out there, folks, and punch up Miles Davis Blue Mood, you'll dig my wig as to what I'm saying. So, or maybe I should find a link and actually put it on our page and have people dig it that way, or I'll just dump some excerpts on there. I don't know. We'll see what comes up. But as far as that, that was part of my weekend ritual. Just listening to records and creating things, putting names on things, because I tend to get a little lack in putting down information where it should be, and then here it is years later, it's like, what was on that tape? But I'm getting better at it as I get older. But so because I mean, here we got I did one tape. It was called "Embraceable You," which was a bunch of soul and R&B and jazz from 34 to 85. And then my other one was all Hawaiian music called Hawaiian Shores.
Yeah, I noticed you like to listen to Hawaiian music in the winter. Think spring, think summer.
Yeah, I love Hawaiian. I love Hawaiian music. I do a lot, and You know, and the fact that you know you find these things, especially since my TV, being the smart TV that it is, and I can play YouTube on it, I'm able to connect right directly to the TV set, right straight into my tape deck, and literally just have my choice of anything I want to record, which is really nice. So, yeah, I ended up getting a bunch of songs from like Louis Armstrong and his Polynesians, which was really good. He did 2. I got 2 on that tape. Then of course Saul Hopi, he was one of the early.
Now, when you say tape, are you talking about reel or are you talking about cassettes?
Cassettes.
Wow.
Cassette tape. You know, I mean,
Why did you put it on cassette? Why don't you put it on reel to reel?
Well, I mean, because well, one, I don't got the reel to reel set up, but you know, I usually when I put it on cassette, then I, you know, because I use a high grade of cassette tape when I make the recordings, because I use the SAX 90s from Maxwell, which are kind of 2 grades above the regular red label things that you find at Walgreens. These are like, you know, a better grade of tape, and it sounds really good. And the mastering of it is really nice. I kind of like that. And so well, someday I should be going back to doing the reels. I love the reels, you know. But,
see, to me, I laugh because it's like you're putting this stuff on cassette tape. There's a part of me where I'm laughing at that. But
but that's fine. But see, you'd be surprised that here in Logan Square, as it seems to be with the records now, you know, everybody, records are coming back. No, records never left. But people have also gone back to the cassette format as well. In fact, I have several friends that they have actual cassette labels here in the city that the releases are strictly on cassette. It's really something.
They don't even make those for cars anymore, I don't think.
No, I mean, you could have a regular deck, you know, like a small deck. In fact, you know, you can go online and you can get what they call these new transfer decks, which of course you can put a Fire Stick in them and you can transfer your cassettes onto a Fire Stick and then you'll be able to put them in your computer. But yeah, you can also use these machines, probably plug in via your auxiliary in your car and play a cassette in the car. But, you know, but do they build them into cars anymore? No, not anymore. In fact, right. I don't even think they build CDs in the cars anymore because everything is now Wi-Fi, everything is Bluetooth, you know, and everything else.
Yeah, that's true too.
So, you know, that's not even the physical media for much of it isn't even a thing. But, you know, again, it's just what society is right now. Everybody seems to have taken a step in that direction to want to own tangible media, whereas, you know, yeah, they love the records. And, you know, I try real hard.
Well, but hold a second. But there's a difference between owning a record and owning a cassette.
Well, no, not by much. I mean, that would have been true.
Come on.
No, wait a minute. That would have been true. Maybe in the late 1960s and early 70s, when the technology for making a good cassette tape wasn't there yet. Okay, and cassette tapes, you know, especially pre-recorded cassette tapes, were few and far between because of the fact that not only were they few and far between, they had the 8-track player, which was the format of choice for being in an automobile.
That time of year, yeah. Well, in the 70s.
Yeah, so, you know, yeah.
Hey, you do not diss my goofy gold.
I'm sorry?
You heard me.
I didn't hear you.
You do not diss my goofy gold 8-track, my friend.
I don't mind goofy gold. The goofy gold is great.
I don't have it anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, well, look, I still have some 8-tracks here. I don't play them.
Yeah, because you have a cart machine.
You know, well, yeah, I do have a cart machine. You're right.
That's okay. That's an 8-track.
Well, it's an 8-track without the pulley wheel. That's another thing. But all I'm saying is, yeah, but that was the choice. That was the format choice back in those days. Was the 8-track. I mean, the cassette didn't kind of come into its own till
the early 80s.
In the early 80s, yeah. And then in
fairness, in some ways, I hate to say it, the 8-track was actually easier to use than a cassette.
Well,
smaller, but easier to use.
Yeah. Well, it's this big thing. You just push it in, and you got the only drawback to the 8-track though was that if a certain selection was longer than what the 8-track was formatted for, it would, you would hear Land the Land Lies Down on Broadway.
Well, no, but the point being, like, for example, if you wanted to find another song on an 8-track, that was doable. Whereas on a cassette, you had to do the that's not it. That's not it.
Oh, went too far. Go back.
Yeah, I went too far. Go back.
But that was true in the beginning of the decks for cassette until they got the automatic signal system where it would.
I don't know of one car that had an automatic signal system.
Oh, there was quite a few cars with the automatic signal system.
Come on, man.
No, I'm true.
I still have a car that has a cassette. I'm telling you, that's not in it.
No, well, then
your car has a cassette deck.
If they did it, it's certainly not.
Your car has a
cars.
Your car has a cassette deck.
Your car has a cassette deck.
That's what I said.
Does.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I have a 2004. What do you want?
Can I make one for you?
I don't know how much longer I'm going to have a 2004. But
you're lucky. That's a 16-year-old car still running.
My car. Hey, stop it. My car runs just fine.
In car years, that's like 90.
Here we go. You and my whole family.
So how many miles you got on it?
100,000 miles.
How many miles?
I got about like 127,000.
That's not bad. I got 131,000 out of my my old Cavalier that I used to have.
When I had Big Red, at the very end of the line for that truck, 253,400.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I think I could get that far, but I don't think anybody will let me.
Oh, my friend Ray, his Honda went to about 250,000 miles. Yeah, about 260,000.
There you go.
Yeah.
You take care of it, it'll last that long.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just keep up with the oil and the fluids.
It's not bad for that old of a car. I thought it'd be higher.
No. Well, and I did a lot of highway miles on it at times too, so crazy. Oh yeah, I did see Shape of Water over the weekend. Finally, it's been on my DVR for like 2 years.
What?
Okay.
It's been on my DVR for.
Welcome to the Oscars, 2016.
2018.
2018.
2018.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad.
Wasn't it creepy at all to you?
A little.
Yeah.
A little creepy. Yeah, there's some sections there where I'm like, okay. Yeah. Do we want to talk about the Oscar stuff today?
Sure, we could touch upon it here for a little bit.
Yeah, we can dabble in it.
Yeah.
I mean, the irony is...
So, the Oscar nominations dropped today.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I've seen at least 4 of them. I don't know how many you've seen.
I've not seen nearly that many. Here, let me pull up the list.
Well, didn't Joker get like 11 Oscar nods?
Oh, good fucking Lord.
It tops the Oscar list. It was good.
Did I strike a nerve?
It wasn't that good of a film to me. My nephew's seen it constantly.
Oh, no, you don't understand.
There's people who love
anybody who's like a movie person, they're like, oh, it's amazing. You know what got a nomination for Best Picture? Remember that movie I told you about last time?
Yeah, last week we were here, yeah.
The one was in Korean that I sat
Firefly?
there and that Parasite movie? That got nominated.
Oh, Parasite?
Nominated. And this week, HBO's going to do it in English as a short series in English.
Why?
I'm telling you, the last hour, for about an hour and a half, I'm bored out of my mind. And then this thing takes a left turn. And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? I mean, and the best is I'm looking online and people's comments are like, oh, Parasite is amazing. I'm like, what were you watching?
What were you smoking?
And, yeah.
It makes history as the first South Korean movie to be nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'd feel differently if it was in English. I'll admit that one.
Well, I have to say that kudos to the Oscar nod to Barack Obama for Best Documentary.
Yeah, I didn't even remember that. I didn't realize that happened until later.
He's still rocking and rolling, the old boy. Let me tell you.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
sure.
all right, let's go down the list here. Best Picture. I only saw 2, Joker and Jojo Rabbit. I did not see Ford versus Ferrari. I wanted to see Ford versus Ferrari.
That's still in the theaters some places. I bet it might
maybe
be coming back a little
It
bit.
might, now that it's got the Oscar nod, it might get a
Yeah.
resurgence in the theaters in this slow time. The Irishman. You saw The Irishman.
I saw The Irishman.
Yeah, Irishman.
Little Women.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to see that.
No.
Marriage Story with ScarJo and Adam Driver.
So that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to maybe see that. Soon.
My family saw it. They liked it. They said it was good. It was just
By
kind
the
of
way,
wrenching
Charlotte
because it's
Joe with nominations in Best Actress and Supporting.
yeah. Shout out.
Wow.
1917.
See, I want to see that. That looked cool.
That does. Yeah.
I would like to see that.
My coworker saw it. He said he loved it.
I saw the trailer for that when I went to go see. What did I see?
Reminds
Maybe
me of
it was
Dunkirk.
Jojo Rabbit or Jumanji, but either way, I was like, wow. That looked cool.
Yeah. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That did big numbers last week, by the way.
It did. Yeah, it did. Made me
Yeah, so that's good for that too. I've not seen the Tarantino film. That's on demand though.
Yeah.
So that's, by the way, Joker on demand too.
Yeah,
FYI.
Joker's out. And Joker's on a DVD too. And Parasite for Best Picture.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah,
maybe when you get closer to the Oscars, we'll do a round. We'll go around the table here and see whose picks is for who's going to win.
I'm not feeling.
All right.
Well, in fairness, like I said, there's some I haven't seen, so I can't speak on those. But of the ones I've seen, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not thrilled with any of the. Well, then again,
Well,
I'm not a Joker fan.
I think because of the fact that these movies, I don't know, maybe I could be wrong, but they got more of an artisan type standalone field in a lot of cases, and I think they're trying to, I think they just, I don't know. Do you think maybe because Joker being what it is, and because it's so artisan in its design and it's so out there, that not only are they getting the fan of Joker in on it, but they're also getting like the heads, the real cinematic heads in on it.
Yes, I think
Exactly.
You're right.
That's exactly what it's cracked to do.
and they're getting the casual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they get the numbers in the casual attendance, but then also you got the heads that are saying, "Yeah, I like how that angle was shot. I like the color.
Cinematography and all that. Yeah.
I like the way it was designed, the way the Joker looks. I like the way he was made up and how he was presented. I mean,
that's been my. I gotta be honest with you. That's been my fear from the get-go. My fear from the get-go is this.
Yeah.
Which is, so Joker goes out, it gets, not only does it get 11 nominations, they make a boatload of money, and the reason this concerns me is as a fan of DC Comics and a fan and wishing for better product in terms of films, and the fact that Warner's just will go any direction on a dime. Okay?
Well,
any direction on a dime, in a minute, in a heartbeat, based on whatever makes them money and is working, because their plan was so bad. have concern that someone's going to sit there and go, "This is the direction we need to head."
Well, here's the standard. The bar has been established, and so let's try to make the rest of it upon this standard against this bar. Let's see if we can surpass the bar, which then it's really going to wig out a lot of things if they tend to follow that direction, because then you're going to make things that are going to be so far removed and in many cases unrecognizable that it almost alienates many of the people for which that the situation was created. No.
Well, and that's exactly that's. I mean, as it is, one of the reasons, and Mike and I have talked about this before. One of the reasons why I have big issues with Joker is fine. You want to do an alternate universe, alternate take on Joker, that's fine. But
keep it as a separate entity.
Well, the other problem, so far it's a separate entity. But where I had my problem is that, okay, now you're making interpretations on a few things other than the Joker that are Batman related, including near the end of the movie where literally there's a sequence at the end of the movie that practically changes Batman's origin in some way.
Do you think maybe because of that change, they're kind of hinting at maybe a Batman movie to kind of follow the stream of what's happening with the Joker? Do you think we're going to have?
I hope not.
A Batman. Are we going to have a Joker-styled Batman? I mean, it's up for fear of a better.
Well, because of the time difference between the time the event in the film happens, i.e., Martha and Thomas Wayne getting shot at the end, and the time he becomes Batman, there's too much time there to keep Joaquin. I think. I don't know.
I don't. Yeah. That's
I think
depends on what theory you're going with. If you're going with the theory of multiple Jokers that some people have talked about, like Grant Morrison has talked about for years, that there's been more than one person who's been the Joker, which would make a lot more sense with how the
you would get because then you get the copycat principle happening here. Okay, you have your Joker. Maybe this. Excuse me, can I pronounce his name? Joaquin Phillips. Maybe it's
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. Okay, I asked for a correction. Okay. And yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. Do you think he's just doing a copycat Joker?
No, this is his own. It's not.
Oh no, it's his own. But I'm just saying. But I'm saying.
Well, it was his own, but I kind of felt like it was just a more out there version of his Johnny Cash from.
No, it wasn't any. Johnny Cash didn't laugh like that.
Well, right, but I felt like there was a lot of that Johnny Cashness to it.
I think
like
you're just seeing that in
weird, it. Well, I'm seeing it based on what I'm looking at from Joaquin Phoenix, not Joaquin Phillips.
But as far as bringing up the Johnny Cash angle, did you read something, Mike, about Johnny Cash, like a book or something, and that you kind of discounted a lot of what was in the movie?
That's correct. Yeah, I did. I read his son's book.
Right. So basically, you'll never watch Walk the Line Again the same way you did when you first saw it.
Well, it's not because of Joaquin's performance. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix did a great job.
Yeah, but it was just because of the way it was presented.
Joaquin Phoenix also did a good job.
Right.
No, it's based on the historical data.
Okay,
based on the facts of the timeline of all that.
Right. So if we based Joker upon what we know as Joker, okay, that we've all come accustomed with, and has really, only separate. I mean, it's had its variations throughout all of its many years, but hasn't strayed really far away from the original formula. But then you got Joaquin Phoenix, who totally just it stands alone. And is that going to be just a peek of what the future of the rest of the movies are going to be like?
We hope not.
I hope not. That's the problem.
No, Joker is. Let me explain this. Joker to DC to comic book films is like Interstellar and Gravity to sci-fi films.
Mm.
They're Oscar bait. Not to say that it is Oscar bait in a way. I mean, it's wonderfully shot. It's done in a serious manner. No, I don't think there was a single CGI special effect in that film.
I don't think there was. No, you're thinking about
fell off the face of the earth.
Endgame got one nomination for visual effects. That's it.
That's bullshit.
It's BS.
What? No. See, and this just goes back to what and you saw me post this on FaceLab.
Biggest fucking film of all time. One Oscar nomination.
Well, yeah, that's what makes this even. That's what makes the fact that Joker got.
That's what makes this thing more heinous. That's what makes it more heinous because it's just the same old shit from the award shows. It's the same old shit.
Well, I mean, but you know what the funny part is? We were talking last year that at one point they were talking about a best popular movie category,
right? Because of to give it to Black Panther.
Well, not only that, but just in general. And both of you guys said, "Oh no, and I was the one who was like, "Oh, I think it needs to exist," and I think one of the reasons it needs to exist is because of
what
exactly
happened this time out. Because look at it, it's bad, It's and no.
You know what the best part is? You know what the best part is? You watch. They'll have every one of those freaking people from the Avengers on stage during the Academy Awards.
Yeah, because they want ratings for the award show.
Right, but yeah.
Well, they're going to grandstand. Of course, they're going to grandstand.
Right, but now, in fairness, I will say this: there's some obviousness to it, which is you're going to obviously have them because it's Disney, and Disney owns the Avengers, and Disney has the Academy Awards this year. So
it's on ABC this year.
Right. So
yeah. So now they got the whole bag of marbles. See, there it is.
So we'll see a trailer for Black Widow every commercial break.
Yeah, really.
And then some.
Well, but then again, why wouldn't you have? Hold a second. Considering the fact that Scarlett Jo's having a phenomenal year with nominations, why wouldn't you put Black Widow out ads every 5 minutes?
Yep.
Well, yeah, to put it in the eyes of everybody.
Think about that.
Well, that's a promotion vehicle. It's become a promotion vehicle.
Forget that. Think about this. It's possible that Scarlett Jo might win one of those 2 nominations, and then she goes straight into Black Widow. And imagine that you can put on your ads, Academy Award winner Scarlett Johansson is the Black Widow.
Which just bolstered the numbers for the movie, just based upon that.
And now, Star Wars got 3 nominations, all technical.
Yeah, and one of them is John Williams. It's the John Williams
music
memorial. Thank you.
Yeah, it'll be the Lifetime Achievement Award for John Williams.
Yeah, it's almost kind of a Lifetime Achievement Award for John Williams.
Yeah, he deserves it. He's done some great.
No nominations for music for Cats, by the way.
No nominations for Cats. I'm shocked. I'm shocked by this.
Not even music. Not even Taylor Swift.
Are you kidding? I've been going crazy on the shitty net and just watching all of the commentaries and the criticisms and okay, I don't think those guys who produced it, directed, or wrote it are going to have to show their faces ever again for a long time.
I think. If I'm under the impression, none of the music from Frozen 2 made it either.
No, there's a song from Frozen 2 that's up for Song of the Year.
Okay.
The Into the Unknown.
Okay. Okay.
Not going to be as big as Let It Go.
No, the songs aren't as memorable from what I'm told. So.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that too. I heard that.
I would not.
I heard that Frozen 2 was
freaking movie.
Yeah, we know Jeff's not going to go see Frozen 2. So
I'm going to let it go.
I'm not going to see Frozen. Yeah. I didn't even see Frozen 1. I mean,
I did. I'm so sorry I did. In terms of...
I'll borrow you the Blu-ray, Jeff.
In terms of snubs, not only Eddie Murphy, but Dolomite gets totally snubbed.
That's bullshit. Love that.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
What's his
I watched it twice. It was
great.
And the point of the matter is, for it to just get totally ignored, just goes to show you that all the brouhaha last year about, black artists being, oh, well, that doesn't exist in Hollywood. The fuck it doesn't.
Oh, yeah, you know what? And that's the other thing, too. That's the other comment that's come out is there's only one nominee who isn't white.
Uh-huh.
This
Whoops.
year. Whoops.
Parasite is South Korean, so
Right, but that's not, I don't know.
That's not black.
But you know what? I don't think that's the only person who got, I think one of those people got nominated. I think that's it. I don't know. I need to look at the list. Nobody, okay, so nothing for Dolomite. Adam Sandler was supposedly phenomenal in Uncut Gems, got nothing.
he got snubbed.
He got snubbed.
Practically
And I have heard nothing but good things. I want to actually see that film.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Practically nothing for Bombshell except Charlize Theron as Megyn Kelly. Here's the one, and I'm curious your reaction, Mike. No Best Supporting Actor nomination for Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Rabbit.
He was good in Jojo Rabbit.
He really was. And you know what? He deserved an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting.
I agree.
I'm shocked. Literally shocked. He was half the movie.
Who are Best Supporting Actor? Let me see the nominees.
He's not one of them.
Let me go to the list. I don't have the complete list here with me. Here it is. Who is up?
But then it all goes back to what I've always told you cats about the award shows and everything, and they will, they say, oh, maybe next year they'll get it right. No, they haven't been right about it.
They haven't got it right in a long time.
Never. No, they've never been right about it. Oscars, the Grammys, all of that shit.
The
what?
The Grammys get it so wrong. It's unfair.
Yeah.
The Grammys is abysmal. I don't even want to. Don't even get me started. That would be a Jeff Stein sized tirade, Green Bay style. If I start going on the Grammys.
You watch what was it? When was it that they gave Best Album of the Year to the Doobie Brothers, and it was in the 90s or the 2000s or some shit
and I thought,
that. You're just
and I'm just kind of pissed off that Taron Egerton didn't get a nomination for Rocket Man.
That was another thing.
He was great in Rocket Man.
Everybody's up.
I thought Rocket Man was good.
Yeah.
Everybody's up in arms about the fact that J-Lo didn't get a nomination for Hustlers, and Hustlers didn't get nominated.
Which only goes to show you that they need to create an award show by the people voted for
from the People's Choice Awards.
Here's the thing.
But the People's Choice Awards needs to have the gravity of the Academy.
You know what? You know who had a decent award show for a while for movies, and then it kind of fell on its face. But for a while, they had a better version of the Academy Awards. Was MTV.
Oh, the
MTV Movie Awards were must-watching at one point.
That was the shit.
Well, that was 20 years ago.
I know.
Yeah, but you know what? The Academy Awards could have learned a thing or two from the MTV Awards. Okay, that's just my opinion. Because the fact that that was a baller show, and they were more posted right on than fucking Academy Awards.
The best is everybody's acting everybody's there having a good time. I can't remember who it was. It was Johnny Depp. I guess Johnny Depp won for Best Actor, and the chick who wrote Juno was swooning over him. And at the same time as he walks by, Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill and all those guys were giving him the, boo, because he's the pretty boy and they lost.
What was the one award show where Ellen DeGeneres was actually serving up pizzas in the audience?
That was one of the Oscars.
The Academy Awards. That's the Academy Awards.
Yeah, there's to be no host this year for the Oscars because they ruined it for Kevin Hart.
Yeah, so they screwed that up.
They ruined it. The internet ruined it for Kevin Hart.
But yeah, the MTV Awards had the time where Jim Carrey showed up and he was wearing a weird outfit. He's acting like a homeless guy or something. Or him and Will Smith had that kiss on TV at one time. I don't know.
The last time I saw last time I saw an award show that really, really got me going was, the Grammys, was when Prince did his live version of Purple Rain on stage, and he just tore it up. Followed by Cyndi Lauper and When You Were Mine in 1984, which was fucking baller. I mean, she went out there and she put that song over in her bare feet, didn't give a fuck about nothing, and she just did it in, and that's the type of stuff I remember. And I just there's been some here and there, but
right, there's been some good performances here or there. It'll be interesting because I think Lizzo is doing the Grammys, and I'm looking forward to see how that goes.
Out of morbid curiosity, I think I want to see that. I want to just see it just for the sake of it's Lizzo.
Right.
Okay.
That and Billie Eilish, I think, are both doing spots on the Grammys. I mean, the last time I remember anything really shocking from the Grammys was the time that Gaga wore the meat dress,
or the meat dress, yeah. And then I never get her name right. BJORK.
Oh, Bjork.
When she came in with that really weird swan dress.
Yeah, I don't know what award show that was, but I remember the outfit.
Yeah, that might have been the Oscars,
like a dead swan. Looked like the head's all like off to one side and shit. I'm just like, what the fuck is that?
That might have been the Oscars. I will be, in fair. The one award show, even though I know that it can't be 100% trusted, but Dick Clark's American Music Awards, that show still figures out how to do the job. And I've made peace.
I'd watch the AMAs over the Grammys.
Yeah, okay. I would too.
I've made peace with Dick Clark, and yes, I do think more of the American Music Awards than I do the Grammys. I will say that in all honesty. And the AMA has always been consistently good, against what the Grammys would be doing.
They've been more forward thinking too. Like in the 90s,
absolutely.
In the 90s when the Grammys didn't even want to acknowledge rap, Dick Clark.
Yeah, they didn't want to put rap or house.
Right,
or
they didn't want to do any of that stuff, and Dick Clark's got Cool J and Will Smith and
Run B, and LL Cool J.
I think they even had NWA.
They had NWA. Yes, they did have NWA.
Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and
See, and I have to give credit where credit is due on the behalf of what Dick Clark did with the AMA, and I think maybe why he did it the way he did it was because I think he noticed the whole void that the Grammys had left. In fact, the Grammys didn't even honor them on stage. There were years when it was a side category mentioned in name only.
Yeah.
Which,
now it's a big deal. Now it's like.
You can't do that because that's just another way to keep the man down. It's just like, really, people? Have we not learned our lesson yet?
Now it's commonplace. Now it's commonplace that best album could be a rap or a record album. But when Eminem,
oh my gosh,
did Eminem get nomination for Marshall Mathers? I can't remember.
I think he did.
But even then it was scandalous.
Well,
oh
because
my God, he should. And I'm like, that's one of the
Eminem, 8 Mile, and he's talking about his mother, and
Marshall Mathers is before 8 Mile though. Marshall Mathers, in fairness, there's some stuff out there that.
But was that before? That was just before Slim Shady, right?
No, Slim Shady. It's Slim Shady, then the Marshall Mathers LP.
Okay.
But the Marshall Mathers LP was the Marshall Mathers LP, unless things have changed, and it's distinctly possible that someone's beat it since. But the Marshall Mathers album, in its initial release, sold 2.7 or 2.8 million when it was released.
I remember
in the first week.
in the first week.
Like the first week, either first week or 2
Wasn't
weeks or something like that.
Weren't they just instituting the sound scan system, the scan system on those by that point?
That was at the time when it was like, seriously, it was like, okay, the only people who were hitting numbers like that were either the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, or Britney
All the boy
Spears.
bands, yeah.
Yeah, all the boy bands. And Eminem, beat them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was 20 years ago.
I know.
Right. And in 20 years, you would think that, that the Grammys and the Oscars and all the rest of these, no bashing on AMA or the Golden Globes or those that are more audience participant of this.
The foreign press is the Golden Globes, but.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, the Golden Globes should not be considered, by many, Golden Globes, that's second tier. And I don't think it's second tier. I think it should be right up there with everybody else.
Well, the problem is
on the pulse of what's going on.
The Golden Globes picked, the Missing Link film instead of Toy Story 4 for Best Animated Film.
Idea.
Didn't even see Missing Link.
But, I kind of laugh because, the Golden Globes, the problem with the Golden Globes is the foreign press people is like this entity that no one understands or no one knows who the hell they are. And yet they have this power. And the only reason why that show's gotten a lot of good buzz is because really in reality, those guys have allowed decent, solid hosting jobs. They've had Ricky Gervais, they've had they've Tina Fey and Amy Poehler who've done great. They've had some really solid hosts, and it's done well. And that's a show that's done well. Versus the Oscars, where everybody's like, "I'm bored out of my mind.
Why am I fucking here?"
Yeah.
When you look at the
Oscars.
Yeah, when you look at the Oscars, and they're just like, "Why am I fucking here?" And the Grammys, "Why am I fucking here?"
All right. Well, we can move on from the Oscars here in a minute, but I just want to make one more point about. Netflix has the most nominations this year.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Wow. And that's not including Dolomite. And there's nothing for Dolomite. That's all Marriage Story and
The Irishman
The Irishman.
And Disney got 23 nominations.
Well, they're cornering the market, boys.
Well, we knew that.
The streaming service.
We talked about that. You know?
The same like what happened with Rosa last year.
That's right.
The streaming services are taking away from the big studios.
Yeah.
I will say, though, in fairness to The Irishman, it'll be interesting to see how that goes because they nominated both Pesci and Pacino for supporting actor, and I have a feeling that the two of them are going to cancel each other out. And like somebody said, this is the interesting part. Those two get nominated. Nothing for De Niro for Best Actor.
Yep.
And De Niro carries that whole movie.
And Bale didn't get one for Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah.
Of the three characters that, all right, I think we've discussed this already about the Irishman. Yeah, they could have done. They could have done with a lot less time.
Yep.
Within the frame of a lot more movie. And personally, there were times when I thought to myself, did they really have to do that particular scene, or did they really have to go this route? Did they really have to play this part of the movie up there? Could they just hypercut it, Michael Bay style to get to the
that would
never
happen. They would never.
Oh no, but I'm just saying.
They would refer to the Michael Bay.
Well, no, but I'm just saying. No,
that'll get you the Oscar for sure.
Yeah,
but I'm using the Michael Bay reference because everything Michael Bay did was, and it was just like, and I think The Irishman just suffers from too much tension and pull, and too much.
By the way, the irony to that is you do that. I think I told you this after I got done watching The Irishman. As the palate cleanser, we watched the new Ryan Reynolds Michael Bay movie on Netflix right after The Irishman because we needed the palate cleanse. So it's kind of funny you mentioned Michael Bay.
Needed a shot in the arm.
I seriously did.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, you know, he's been relegated to Michael Bay's been relegated to a type of editing pose.
Well, there's certain obvious things with Michael Bay. There's a whole bunch of explosions. There's some hot shit.
Well, everything goes up in smoke. Everything goes up big.
Yeah, you've destroyed half a city by now. And now comes the big turnaround, and there's the music and all that stuff. And to me, I kind of laugh. Everybody gets Michael Bay shit. In the meantime, no offense, you walk into a Michael Bay movie, you know what you're going to get.
That's right. You know what you're getting.
Well, yeah, because he's established that it's a formula director's pose. He's become, you know, you think of Michael Bay, it's formula directing. You already know what's coming.
To me, it's like Ed Wood. Ed Wood was a specific style.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And he stuck it no matter how terrible it was. That was his style.
And in fairness, I don't think the Michael Bay movies are nearly as bad as that. There are some of them.
No, nothing's as bad as Ed Wood.
Right.
Now. That's. I mean, when you can see the strings on the brain floating through the air, that's pretty fucking bad. Yeah.
Who's the guy who did the bad Fantastic Four movie that I can't remember? Is it Harvey Korman?
I don't know.
Harvey Korman. He's on Carol Burnett.
No, not Harvey Korman. I can't remember who it is. Who did the bad Fantastic Four movie that never got released? That
he's the one.
Yeah.
Of? He'll never work in Hollywood again.
Oh, no. Speaking of never working in Hollywood again, I saw a very disturbing documentary on YouTube about Shirley Temple, but it talked about Hollyweird and pedal weird and everything else. But that's maybe for another show.
Josh Trank was the director of that Fantastic Four with the letter 4 taking A.
No. This is
Josh
the one
Gray?
from the early. This is the one from way earlier, like the 80s, like the bad one, the 80s one that didn't get released. That was the
lost one that went the way of cats.
You mean like
it didn't even get that. Hold on.
Here you go.
Not the ones with Jessica
I gotta
Alba.
find it now.
Okay.
Someone gave me a copy of it, and I'm like, "Why did you give me this as a gift? This is what do you hate me?
Well, you hate me that much?"
Yeah.
They're like, "No, we thought you'd like that. We thought you'd like that one." And I'm like, "No."
Yeah, that's like saying, yes, I like cartoons, and you give me a hentai cartoon.
Well, no, in fairness, it is one of those things where it's like it's rare.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find which one is.
So
bad?
yeah, the Oscar nominations happened.
Hold on, wait. I gotta find the bad one.
I
gotta find the bad one.
Now he's on a quest, there, Mike. He's on a quest. Let him roll.
I kind of am. Is this it? This is the one. Roger Corman. There we go.
Roger Corman, not Harvey Korman.
It's the Roger Corman.
I was going to say, that'd be funny if it had Harvey Korman in it.
Well, no, that's the Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh, my gosh. The Christmas special that no one never wants to see again. But
I do. Yeah. I love that thing. For all the wrong reasons.
You're the minority then, because that's not what
it's so bad it has to be watched.
It's so bad it's good. Okay, okay. I guess maybe I could, you know, make an allowance for that.
I've joked with people because we've talked before. I play Star Wars role-playing games. No one will allow me to run the Mos Eisley Cantina, and the reason they won't let me run the Mos Eisley Cantina is because at some point there's going to be a song and dance break.
Okay, so everybody goes flash mob style in the middle.
Well, because B. Arthur owns it.
Yeah. Well, we do see. Well, there's an episode of The Mandalorian where he goes back to Tatooine.
Mm-hmm.
Where he goes to Tatooine, and we see a couple of familiar places, but no familiar faces.
Everybody's moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cantina is a lot quieter. Let's just leave it at that.
Well, yeah, it should be a lot quieter.
After the huts, the huts are no longer in,
Well, no Jabba at that point, yeah.
So, so I guess we have anything else to add on the Oscars? We can move on.
Well, okay, the only other thing is I know there's this big, huge... I'm seeing it a lot of places about J-Lo didn't get nominated, and this was a movie about women's empowerment, and I'm like, maybe I'm missing something, but drugging a whole bunch of guys and then taking all their money doesn't seem like women's empowerment to me. But
no,
okay.
that seems more to me like, oh, okay, this is more of the same. Let's go ahead and let's.
No, it's just not women's, not how you want to.
That's not how you want to picture woman empowerment.
Me too.
By up and over on men and then just taking advantage of them and doing, lousy shit to them.
Meanwhile, the Weinstein trial is starting up.
Oh, we're really going to talk about this?
No, we're not. But I mean,
good.
In the wake of the Me Too movement and how J-Lo got snubbed, and although more women got nominated.
Now because J-Lo got snubbed, now everybody's butthurt. Okay, here we go.
Well, but
I'm not
in
butthurt.
fairness, Ivan, this goes back to the other narrative of the fact that, okay, so you got, okay, so here's the other side of the narrative, which is, okay, so J-Lo didn't make it. None of the women directors were picked for their work. None of the black artists were picked. Right. None of the 19 of the 20 artists in terms of actors/actresses were anything but white. Right. I mean, you start to do the narrative, and this is the part and what happened was last year was nothing more than an appeasal to what ended up that's what this year. Look like, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm sorry. This is going to sound really bad, guys. Don't get offended. It just sounds to me like a total whitewashing of the situation. No, there's a lot of people who have that reaction, and you know what? What? That you might not be wrong. Like somebody said, and you know what? It's not wrong when they say this, which is, you know what? If that Hustlers movie was directed by Scorsese, it would be nominated up the yin yang. Oh yeah, but if it was done by Scorsese, yin yang, and everybody would be talking about how J-Lo should be had a phenomenal, solid performance, and she's the next big. They want her to be the next actress big thing. And all that. And you know what? They're not wrong. No, and it just, and again, like I said, outside of what happened last year, this year was just a total polar opposite of what everybody aspired for the situation to have it change. It didn't.
No nominations for Just Mercy with
right. No nominations for that either. Jamie Foxx.
Yes, same old song and dance, folks.
Yep. No.
Same old song and dance.
And in the best of all, it's like, the best of all, if you really want to go through it, it's like, hey, guess what? We can also throw the geeks in there because you only freaking nominated Avengers Endgame for one freaking Oscar.
We got Star Wars got 3.
Wow, okay. So between the two of them, you got 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was because you have the screaming geeks over here going ahead and say, yeah, what about us?
There's four total nominations, and one of them is for John Williams, who they love.
Well, their mentality is that Joker got 11 nominations. There's your geek card.
See, that's where.
But this
is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I think again it goes back to what we said at the beginning of the conversation. Again, it's between the fans and the artisans. That was not a movie.
Yeah, but in fairness, this discussion that we've been having. It's funny. I was saying to somebody the other day, really in reality, this is a conversation we've been having a lot longer than more recently. It's just more obvious now. It's just more obvious.
because the Oscar nominations made that painfully obvious.
But even like back in I think I've joked about this before about the political cartoon where E.T.'s sitting on a pile of money and Gandhi's sitting there holding his Oscar. I mean, that's 82.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
82.
That's 82. I mean, there's a lot of movies where you're sitting there at certain years where you're like, why did that get picked?
Because it's all about money. It's all about the money.
Didn't Saving Private
It's all
Ryan,
about the money. It's all about the presidents.
It's
all about the dead presidents, man.
Wait, didn't Saving Private Ryan not win Best Picture? Because of Shakespeare in Love or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah.
I believe that to be true.
That's what I'm talking about. This is...
Like I said, the money talks and the bullshit walks.
And it's all being part of a group, part of a clique.
Part of the clique.
Yeah, that's right.
100 people in the room that say, yeah, we'll do that one.
Yeah, well, we needed to be in the room where it happened.
Exactly.
By the way, Hamilton finally done here in Chicago.
No, that's too bad.
What?
Hamilton finally done in Chicago.
All good things.
2,500 performances. That's pretty.
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah. By the way, I'll tell you now, if that In the Heights thing is any good at all, that thing will get nominated to the Yin Yang because they love what's his name. They love the guy from Hamilton, that Miranda guy. They love him.
Miranda Lynn. Yeah.
Winlam, I can't remember.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Right, but they love him, and if it's any good, well, that'll be interesting because there'll be that, and then somewhere in that December period is when West Side Story comes out from Spielberg. So it could be a real big musical year in 2021.
Well, okay.
Well, we kicked it off with Cats, right? Am I right?
Yeah, this is going to be a little different than Cats.
This is
going to be a little different than Cats.
Cats, let's just say was DOA, because that's exactly what happened to it.
Do you realize how many people tried to push that thing?
Well, at $100 million, I would try to beat the dead horse to try to get it to move, but
there were a lot of news outlets and entertainment outlets that were trying to basically make that thing because it was Dame Judi Dench and it's Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that would have been nice. It would have been.
It would have
been nice if they had Here's the thing, though. Okay, Toy Story 4. All right, here we go. Toy Story 4, from conception to completion, is anywhere from 4 to 7 years. Okay, Cats had a turnaround time of 12 months.
It goes beyond that. Toy Story 4 had a plot.
Yeah, but I'm trying to tell you. Okay, but no, not this Cats. No, Cats had no plot.
Well, wait a second. I saw Cats. There is no plot in Cats. All it is a bunch of annoying little cats.
Still 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, but I've seen the stage adaptation of the motion picture, and I've seen Cats live. And let me tell you something. Okay, if I have to look at it from an artistic point of view, okay, both the stage and the screen adaptation of the play are worlds away from this piece of shit they call, Cats now. And the fact that they tried to rush it out, the dancers only had 7 months to learn the routines. They had 12 months to complete the picture, and they even ran against the clock right down to the last minute, right down with Judi Dench's hand showing up on the screen with Jennifer Hudson's boogers showing up on her face.
Were we able to see Jason Derulo's wang?
Yeah.
Good.
No, they edited it out.
They edited that out.
What I'm trying to say, I was having fun. But the thing about it is, though, okay, yeah, had maybe Cats had more time.
No.
Let me finish.
No.
Had Cats had more time to fill itself out.
Nope.
And if Cats did not depend so heavily on the post-CGI things they had to do, and if someone took the actual designs of the movie and totally refurbished it, might have fared a better chance at what it would have done. But, it's not going to happen. Nobody's got $100 million to make another Cats movie. In fact,
no one's going to make that movie ever again.
You know what? that movie has been relegated to the $3 bin at Walmart.
Forget that. There will never be a remake. There will never be a try to a remake.
For a long time.
Not after that.
You know what the worst part is?
What?
All of the Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals you could pick.
Right.
That's not the one I would pick.
No.
There are a lot of other ones.
Andrew Lloyd Webber made so many.
Why not
great.
Phantom? Why not Phantom?
Well, Phantom's already had 2 presentations already.
Yeah, but they could have done like a bigger version than what we've gotten.
I mean, Pirates of Penzance, that's been done several times.
Or Starlight Express would lend itself to a movie.
Starlight Express would have been fucking baller. Or let's pull the black card. Why hasn't anybody redone Ain't Misbehaving?
I have no
a Fats Waller musical. Why hasn't anybody done that?
Because most people be like, "What? Who was that?"
Yeah,
that's still too obscure, Ivan.
No, not necessarily true. I mean, Fats Waller, in many ways, is still a relevant force in American music.
Not in popular culture.
Well, okay, for those who don't,
maybe we need something to bring that to the forefront. We need a movie or something.
Exactly.
Like a big budget origin film.
Right. See, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, either you make it.
Don't worry, if we bring one, Ivan will hate it because it won't be historically accurate.
Well, no, but I could do that. You're right. But I'm not gonna lie, I could do that. Jimmy started on Cadillac Records, but anyway.
Yeah. Cadillac Records 2, the Fats Waller story.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that! I ain't doing that shit.
See.
But give me a good Fats Waller story. I'm all about it, man. I mean, I'll even leave.
I don't know, that Miles Davis movie was
my ego at the door. But give me one.
Hey, speaking of movies, before we get out of here, because I know we're running.
Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the clock here. So,
anybody else catch the Morbius trailer?
No. I haven't seen. Is it is it like a teaser or a trailer?
No, full trailer came out.
Full trailer. All right.
Full trailer.
I'm gonna check it out.
I'll be honest with you.
It's posted to the Squares page. I saw it. And I'm like, okay, I'll see it later.
And you know what? Count me as interested. And I wasn't, and you know that. I wasn't interested in a Morbius movie. I did not see how that was going to work. I gotta be honest. I'm in. I'm interested. You know what? They did a much better job with this movie than Venom ever did. And here's the other interesting part. 2 interesting parts in the trailer. One, at one point where Morbius is walking by, on the wall there's graffiti of a picture of Spider-Man, and over it says murderer.
Ooh.
Which would go back to Far From Home, in which everybody thinks he killed Mysterio.
Ooh, there's a plot twist for you.
That's right. He might be labeled a criminal now because J. Jonah Jameson outed him.
Right.
Yeah.
But J. Jonah Jameson, for the life of Spider-Man, has always had a love-hate relationship with Spider-Man.
But here's the thing. That's MCU, Disney, Marvel.
Yeah.
And
not
here
Sony.
It is in Sony.
Yeah.
With their Spider-Man, with Morbius. Here's the other interesting part. Later in the trailer, and I did not catch it, Michael Keaton is in the trailer. But nobody's sure who he's supposed to be, and people think he's Adrian Toomes, a.k.a. the Vulture.
Yeah.
And he's
later makes sense. He's in prison.
Right.
Wow.
Well, and like I said, so maybe
could be good.
Sony getting some of that MCU stuff.
Right.
Could be good.
As a matter of fact, I put something up on the Squares page about some theories and ideas about what they might be trying to do. And the only thing I would say is this. If I was Sony, and I'm going to just be honest with you, if I'm Sony and I'm going to do a Sinister Six movie, to me, I'm kind of like, I almost would consider doing it as a trilogy. If you think about it, you could do Sinister Six as a trilogy. You could start out, and then the middle movie is where, maybe near the end or middle movie is where Spider-Man confronts them, but loses. And then if you work out your deal with Disney, maybe in the third movie, like it's Spider-Man and the Avengers against the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
And you make a whole shitload of money. But I don't think they're thinking that. I don't think they're thinking 3 movies big. I think they're looking at one movie where it's him against the Sinister Six by himself. But in fairness, in a lot of comics, Spider-Man needs help to beat the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but then what makes you think that they're not going to go ahead and do the one movie, and then all of a sudden there is a second movie?
Well, that's
a possibility.
It all hinges on the success of the first one, obviously.
Right, right.
Okay, so there you go.
Well, it depends if they're going to add it. Well, the question is
meanwhile,
can they do a cliffhanger?
Marvel's doing the Eternals and another Thor and another Doctor Strange.
Oh, and that's the other thing. Didn't they just lose the Doctor Strange director?
Yes, the director just stepped out. Yeah, so for
great.
Doctor Strange too.
But in fairness, the Ant-Man director changed 3 times, and it worked out. So
yeah,
I mean,
so okay, yeah, I'll check out the Morbius trailer. It's on the Squares the Round Table Facebook page for those who.
It is.
Yes.
But yeah, like I said, I thought it was. I wasn't. My reaction when they decided that they were going to go this direction was no thanks. And I watched the trailer today, and I was like, okay, I'm in.
Okay.
I'll watch this. This looks interesting. You got me. I think congratulations. I really have never been a fan of the Michael Morbius character. I will come watch this.
Yeah. Because it ties into Spider-Man, which is an iconic, one of the most iconic comic book characters.
The only thing that kind of is strange to me is, maybe it's because I remember seeing in the cartoons, like in the 90s, like when you had Morbius, usually Blade was around, and they don't have rights to Blade. Sony doesn't have rights to Blade. Marvel does. Marvel has rights to Blade, but Sony
Did Marvel get that in the acquisition of Fox? Did Blade, or they always had Blade?
It before that.
Okay, they always had Blade. Okay.
No, they got it a few years ago. I can't remember who. The guy who was in Green Book, who was like the guy who's been like best actor or best supporting actor like a couple years in a row in the Academy Awards. The guy who was in Green Book last year. That guy basically came out and said to Marvel, "It's like, yeah, I want to play Blade," and they're like, "Okay."
Yeah, the Green Book was on about 1 or 2 weeks ago. I watched it. Man, that's still a good movie, man.
Yeah, that guy's supposed to be Blade.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no, well, Marvel was too. Like I said, he approached them. He's like, "I'd like to play Blade," and they were like, "We'd like you to play Blade."
So okay.
Yeah, the other, and then I think we talked about it that Christian Bale, I guess, is doing the fourth Thor movie.
He'll be in Thor, but we don't know who's going to be yet. So
I still want him to be Batman. I know that's not happening. I know that's not happening, but I still think it'd be funny.
You should have gone for the head.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ivan, what are you doing this week? Where are you DJing at this week?
Well, I'll be at the time this Squares post, I'll be at Logan Arcade doing the 45 Satchel from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Then I will be back over at the Logan Arcade on the Sunday to do Sweet Soulful Sunday. And the newly remodeled Coles is where I'm going to be on Monday from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Will they have sweaters?
Newly remodeled?
Totally remodeled. Yeah, they redid all the floors. They fixed everything up really nice. It looks great.
What floors is Sporting Goods?
It's not COLES. We know. It's
So anyway, yeah, and so just those are the three that come up at the very top of the situation. I'm always at Mathers on Friday, and we got new hours at Mathers for those of you who attend. I'm on from 12 till 3 now, not till 3:30, because now they're opening the cafe a half hour earlier, and they're closing it a half hour earlier now. Right. So, yeah, so I lost a half an hour of the Friday shift, but that's okay. I mean, we're also meeting in the back room. Oh. We are not going to be in the main, we're not going to be in the main cafeteria anymore. We're going to have our own room where we're going to do our own groovy things. So if you want to join us, you come and check us out there.
Knock on the back door.
Knock on the back door.
Use the special secret knock.
Yes.
What's the special secret password?
Weep, Ground Weep mini bun.
There you go. Jeff, what are you doing this week?
What am I doing this week? I really don't have much. The only thing I've got is I probably am going to have Midwest Speaking Professionals on Sunday. I don't know. I maybe I'll try to catch a movie or something this week. I have no idea. Obviously, Crisis is tomorrow.
Yep, Crisis. So, we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next week, and I'll catch up on that.
Is Crisis a movie or a show?
It's a miniseries on CW.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I did, Manifest came back to NBC, and maybe I'll talk a little bit about that next week.
Next week I'll talk about, I'll finally finish season 2 of Titans.
I really need to get around to watching that show.
I'm going to finish Titans before Picard premieres later this month.
Yeah.
The Hollywood premiere is tonight, actually, and I'm not invited. I guess I'm not a true Star Trek fan.
The real reason you're not invited is because we didn't try to put in a press thing. We should try. We should try for some of those. Yeah. Stranger things have happened.
Yes.
Strange things are happening.
All right, Mike. Any thoughts on for sure to go wrong predictions for football on Sunday?
Please, Packers don't win.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win. I really don't.
Against the 49ers?
Team.
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I think the Packers are going to win by 7.
Okay.
All right, well, thanks for having us, Ivan. We'll see you back. Never.
And then the other game is
go Pack, go, yeah, man.
The upstart Tennessee Titans, who were I believe they were the 6th seed overall, and they're facing Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. I'll be curious what the weather's like. I think that'll be a factor.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, it's hard to pick against the Chiefs, but there's something about the Titans that I've enjoyed watching. And if the weather's bad, Derrick Henry is one of the better running backs in the league, and that guy can run has been averaging somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 yards a game.
Okay.
And if they just basically follow him, I don't know. They can slow down the game.
I say Tennessee and San Francisco. 49ers and Titans. Are those your picks?
You know what? I'll go out on a limb. I'll go 49ers and Titans, although I have a feeling it's going to be 49ers and Chiefs.
Okay.
It would be, I will admit, Chiefs versus Packers is a rematch of the first ever Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
What year is this
I'm sure there's some
this
people pulling for that.
56 is this year, is the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 56.
Right, but it would, in fairness, it'd be kind of interesting if they had a rematch, although I'll tell you right now, I'm going for the Chiefs at that point.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. God, could you imagine if we have to listen all freaking year to the Packer people? God.
Packer people.
I don't think I could do it.
No.
I don't think I could do it.
I see somebody was giving you some shit on Facebook today about a screenshot.
Because I posted the thing. I posted a couple of things. Well, one of them was the Packers' favorite new slogan, which is "Go Reps Go."
Go Ref Go, yes.
Go Rep Go.
Go Reps Go.
And then I didn't see the game, but I posted this thing about it. I saw like 1 billion people posting about that. Supposedly, Seattle should have gotten a first down when they didn't, or something late in the game.
But we know the
Are you
graphic
talking about the one with all the pictures that everybody's trying to make the comparison.
But we know that the graphic of the line on the field is not the official one.
Yeah, so I don't know.
That's funny.
Okay.
Yeah, so I posted that thing and people got annoyed.
Yeah, some people are getting in your face, man.
Well, they're Packer fans. Of course they're getting annoyed. They're Packer fans. They don't have indoor plumbing. What do you expect from them?
We shout out. We appreciate every Green Bay Packer fan who listened to this podcast.
All
two
negative
of you.
5 of you.
Yeah. I was hoping for a positive number, but okay.
Go eat your cheese curds and enjoy. I don't know.
Wash them down with all that near beer.
Oh, that'll lose us with all of our 5 listeners.
Okay.
That'll totally. All right, Mike. How do they get them? How do they send us bad?
How do they get us here?
Things?
For all our loving Green Bay Packer fans, if you want to contact us, we're on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. We're on YouTube. Click the bell, subscribe. You'll know new content drops. And, of course, we're on Facebook. That's where we feel all the crazy, funny stories. Shout out to Scott.
Scott!
I'll just leave it. I figured I'd let you do it for once.
Scott! We're on Spotify, we're on Anchor, we're on Google, and the Apple Podcast apps. Please leave us a review if you appreciate it. If you like our show, we'd really like it if you did let us know that you like our show. Helps us out. And of course, email us at sotrtpodcast@gmail.com.
Yay.com. Thanks for joining us here at the Squares of the Roundtable podcast. We'll catch up with you next time. Hope you'll join us on the News of the Squared. And we'll catch up with you next time out, folks. Till then, I'm Jivin Ivan.
I'm Jeff Stein.
I'm Christian Bale.
Good night, everybody. Goodbye.
Hooray for Hollywood.
Hollywood. I don't even know what the fucking word.
All right, it's time to go.